Martin Luther King Jr. didn't know what the white-only signs in his neighborhood were. When he asked his mom, she said, "You are as good as anyone." One of Martin Luther King Jr.'s most famous quotes was, "Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that."
No more white-only signs. Love. No more white-only signs.
Wait!
Wait? For years I've heard the word wait. We have waited 340 years for our rights.
Another one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s quotes was, "Love is the key to all the problems of the world." What are you looking at?
You. Your
What?
ugly face. You're so angry. I'm so angry at you, you know that?
But what did I do? We're friends.
You get off of me.
You know, sooner or later, all the people in the world will learn to live together.
I guess it's good. Friendship always wins!
Okay, Alex is here to talk to us about these quotes. What do these quotes mean? You are as good as anyone. What does this quote mean?
Well, in the book it's used by Martin's mother, and it basically means, when he sees the white-only sign, he assumes that white people maybe are superior to black people, which of course is not true. And what he says is, she says that you can be anyone, which means that basically don't think just because some other people think white people are better than black people, don't think that white people are less than black people, because they're all equal, they're all the same.
Okay, and let's ask you the next quote. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. What does this quote mean then?
Well, during the Martin Luther King marches, when they would go against the racism going on, he said this because some of his followers would use violence, which he thought, following Gandhi, he thought that this was not the right thing to do. So, as Gandhi did, he did pick up one weapon and he said, "We're going to use love to illustrate our point, not hate." And that's basically where this came from. You can't just punch someone in the face and expect them to listen to you.
Okay, when the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. What does this quote mean?
Well, back then, black people standing up for their rights wasn't really common until Martin Luther King Jr. came around. So basically what this is saying is you will basically be remembered in history for your courage and your braveness to stand up against white people and all these racist people that would go against blacks. So he's saying that you will be remembered for your courage.
Okay, next quote. Wait. For years, I've heard the word wait. We have waited for 340 years for our rights.
Well, to understand the quote, you need to know what happened 340 years ago. 340 years ago is when slavery basically happened, when they would take African Americans from Africa and treat them as slaves and make them do their plantation with no money at all. So what this quote is saying is that we don't have to wait for our freedom. We already wait 340 years. We're fighting now, and legally they're free, but this racism is absurd. You don't have to do this. That's basically what they're saying.
Okay, next one. Love is the key to all the problems of the world. What does this quote mean specifically?
Well, this is kind of the same as hate. You can't drive out hate with hate. It's the same, you can't drive out hate with hate. You can only drive it out with love. It's basically the same thing that he's saying, that don't use hate to drive out your problems. Use love, because love will always get you into the right spot, no matter how much hate the opposing person has.
Okay, the final and last quote. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will learn to live together. What does this quote mean?
Well, this means Martin basically fought for, well, in his I Have a Dream speech, he said he had a dream that black little girls and black little boys will hold hands with white little girls and white little boys. So this quote basically means he wants all nationalities to live in peace, no war, no protests are needed. Nothing is needed, and they should just all live in peace. That's basically what the quote means. And that is Martin Luther King's, basically, that's what his protests were about. Not only just black people and white people living together, every nationality living in peace.
Okay. Martin Luther King Jr. did. Hey, what you reading there? Well, that's too bad, isn't it? Another one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s